You can stand. No, you can't stand on there. See his mouth there? Can you see his mouth? Yeah, at the bottom.
There are practical experiences available at the Aquarium It just allows you a special kind of ticket to learn more about these penguins and how we take care of them here at the Ocean Aquarium. There is tortoises. And see the last four
This one is not very happy.
Those yellow chest feathers are all slicked back now after they swap. There we go, Teddy. About to begin. Today we are joined by our penguin keepers Amy and Lotta, and they will be the ones to feed these beautiful birds. Just a few rules that I ask you to follow while you are here in the exhibit. Please make sure not to touch the water and don't try and touch the penguins. The bite is quite painful. Please make sure your flash is off when you are taking your pictures and recordings, and this is a no eating and drinking zone. So these penguins, they are formerly known as the African black-footed penguins. You may also know them as the jackass penguins, and the reason they were called this was because of the donkey bray sound that they would make when they would call. So it's not only those vocal rock hopper penguins behind that wooden fence that can make so much noise, but these African penguins, once they do have the opportunity to do so, can form a chorus of their own. So the African penguins are the only penguins found on the African continent, and their habitat spans all the way from Port Elizabeth up to Namibia. Where you would be able to see these penguins in Cape Town, there are two locations, in Stony Point and Boulders Beach. So the African penguins, they are part of the genus Phoniscus, and there are three other penguin species that make up this genus, which means that there are three other penguin species in the world that look very similar to the ones that you see in front of you. So the Those penguins will share the same features, which means that they have also got those black backs, those white bellies, and the black band that surrounds the front of their bellies. And for this reason, they are also grouped together, known as the banded penguins. So we have got 20 penguins here on our beach, all of them third generational bred birds. This is their second feeding opportunity of the day, and we feed them 3 times a day on a diet of sardines, also known as pilchards. So you will see that when the penguin is interested in a fish, they will step up onto the podium in front of Amy's legs, and a fish will be presented to them. So we like to hand feed our penguins, as this allows us to make sure that each penguin has an equal opportunity to eat. And we also want to know how much each penguin will eat for each feed. That is why we keep a track record throughout the feed. So Lotta has got a clipboard on her lap, and she's using that clipboard to mark off how much each penguin will eat this morning. So one of the reasons we want to keep track of how much each penguin eats, or the average amount of how much each penguin eats, is because these penguins and many other penguin species undergo behavioral changes. So during those behavioral changes, they can eat a little bit less or a little bit more than usual, and that feeding pattern will help us identify when they are undergoing such changes. And one of the changes that can occur is molting. So if you look at the rock hopper penguins behind the wooden fence, those penguins are undergoing their molting process, which is giving them that very fluffy appearance. So once a year, the penguins will lose their existing feathers. The new coats of feathers coming in will push out the old coat, and that is the reason that they have got such a fluffy appearance. So during that process, they won't eat, because those feathers are very important to their swimming ability. And so just before that molting process starts, they sort of bulk up. So they eat almost double the amount of fish that they usually do, and that allows them to make sure that they have enough food in their bodies while they wait for their new beautiful feathers to come in. But back to the African penguins. The way we are able to tell which penguin is which is that each penguin has got their own unique spot pattern on the front of their bellies. So if you want to learn all 20 penguins' names, it's quite fun. You can look at the 2 columns in front of you. There it shows you the name of the penguin, it gives you an identification picture, and it also shows you a few characteristics that each penguin displays, as they are quite charismatic and unique birds. So I can point out a few penguins for you. This penguin closest to me, this is Zuki. Zuki tends to come up to us during the feeds. Maybe she wants to listen in to what we're saying about them. So apart from Zuki, we also have Ayoba. I think he's the one that is standing on this corner of the beach over here. Ayoba is the one who has got this black stripe across his neck. There you go. There is showing you his stripe. He also likes to pose for all of your photos. Another penguin that will be quite easy to point out is Chuck. And Chuck is the penguin who has got all those white spots down his back. I don't see him eating just now, but maybe throughout the course of the day. If you come see our penguins a little bit later, you will be able to point out Chuck from the rest of them. So these penguins, they are monogamous, which means that they will choose one breeding partner for their whole life, and they will share their nest with their breeding partners. I do see that we have a few penguins in their nests, and one of the monogamous pairs are actually coming out. Maybe they'll come down the ramp for some fish. So in this nest on the far end, they are getting into a bit of a fight. Flippy and Aya's nest is over here, and they are one of the monogamous pairs here on the beach. Usually when the penguins tend to stay in their nests, they can get quite territorial. It's their area that they want to protect. So if one penguin is walking too close to another penguin's nest, they can get a nip or a bit of a pinch by the other penguins. Let's see who this is. It might be Quinn, or I think it is Quinn because I see Katie on the beach over there. And so the way we are able to tell which penguin is a male and which one is a female is through a blood test alone. So the males and the females, they don't exhibit any differences physically. So because they look so similar and you aren't able to determine, it's going to keep going on, don't worry. Because the males and the females are really similar to one another, the only way to determine the sex with 100% accuracy is through that blood test alone.
Hey? Don't kick the glass. Don't kick. Right. Get home somewhere.
As you'll notice, we have two divers joining us. They are simply going to be setting up the GoPro, which will record the feeding for today. The individual currently waving at you, that is Ethan. And the diver setting up the GoPro, that is Daniel. So Ethan and Daniel are our Aquarium feeding the sharks this afternoon. Now they will enter the exhibit once again. See, someone's already interested in this afternoon's lunch snack. But they're just going to go up and collect the food and will rejoin us once again. So while they're doing that, I'm just going to give you a little bit more information about what we're looking at, or shark individual singular, are your rabbit tooth sharks, also known as sand tiger sharks or granite nurse sharks, depending on where in the world you are from. Well, the dusty cars just making the appearance a quick hi, goodbye. These sharks are all female, ladies and gentlemen, and the way in which we can identify them is simply by looking at their pelvic area. Now, the pelvic area is situated just at the last, or the area between the last three or first, and notice that area is completely smooth. As Charlie makes her way across, you'll notice that area is completely smooth, and that is indicative of your female sharks. Now, your sharks, skates, and legs form part of the same family. Once again, as I was saying, once the sharks come past, I'll be able to introduce them a little bit better to you. So how is it that I'm actually able to identify the sharks? Over here we've got Jen, one of our older girls. Each of the sharks has their own unique characteristics, whether that be physical or otherwise. So mainly physical features are your scars or your specific spot patterns of our sharks. Now, as you can see, just below Jane's tail, she's got those white scratch marks. And you notice that even though our other sharks are the same species and in the same exhibit, none of them will have the same scratch marks.
Don't eat on them.
Even they are listening and tuning to, or as you saw Charlie flashing around just to get a better grip, those teeth can also fall out. And that is why if you are feeling particularly adventurous and
Look behind you. Look it.